Thank y'all for tuning back in again. This is the Spiritual Bank Account. I am your host, Billionaire Boy. And as you can see, I have a very special VIP guest on the couch with me today, the Reverend Johnnie Johnson. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, man.
Glad to have you here.
Glad to be here.
Pleasure to have you here. I made an acquaintance with you through our podcast that we do on Wednesday. Shout out to my brother John Ross. He always had told me good things about, man, you need to come to East Holly Spring Baptist Church and listen to my pastor, man. Bro, he can talk just like we can talk. He's just gonna tell the truth. He's honest. John always spoke highly of you in the ministry and then just as a man. So again, it's a pleasure to have you here. It's a pleasure to hear you speak. How you doing today, brother?
Well, like I tell everybody, I got up this morning. So any day that I get up, that's a good day. And I take the day as it comes. When I get up in the morning, I said thank you. When I go to bed at night, I said thank you.
Same thing.
And I try to sleep good all night long because yesterday is gone, tomorrow is not promised. So I don't worry about that.
See, that's the type of wisdom right there that I sit down and just be quiet, just to listen. Last time I seen you, I say, man, you like my uncle. Like the age gap we have and just the amount of reverence I have for you again from the little time that I've known you. I got a chance to come to your church. And while I was at your church, I came to the realization that that was the church that my brother had his funeral in. Also, my father was a visitor several times and came to minister, so everything just kind of came full circle. Man, tell us like where you're from. Give me a little rundown of your childhood because again, we are told you're the next generation up. How was that?
I am originally from Shelby County, Southern Texas. Finished from Southern High School in 1969. That's basically born and raised in Deep East Texas.
So is this segregation? Was you in the all black school anytime?
For 11 years.
When you was a senior, they integrated.
Integrated. No choice.
What was it like when it was the all black school?
For me, it was normal. That's the way I started out. That was a normal day. When it came to freedom of choice, I didn't want to go. And I've seen some of the difference. For instance, sports and stuff, when you got in at night, the coaches would see to you getting home. They would carry you home. And when my oldest daughter finished school, her junior year, she called me. I had to go up to school and pick her up. Not only did they not worry about getting her home safely, they didn't even worry enough about her to stay there with her until I got there. Needless to say, I went out the next day. I was nowhere close to being safe.
Let me just make sure I'm hearing what you're saying. After the sporting event, all the coaches, teachers, they went on home, but your baby still up there waiting on you to get there.
Waiting on me to get there.
That's cool.
So that's some of the difference that I seen. But what was funny, boy, our junior year, our black teachers were telling us, don't go up there next year embarrassing us. Don't be an embarrassment to us. But once we got there, we had better training and stuff than they did.
Come on now.
Man, that was some radical, crazy, wild. You talk about cowboys.
See, this is the part of history they don't teach in school, and we'll never know.
Tell you that.
We'll never know unless we get next to some elder
and get
it from mouth to ear. So y'all was up there with more sense than they had.
Yeah.
And probably education-wise,
they spent more time with us one-on-one.
Nowadays, all black, when you was all black, right?
Yeah. Teachers will tell you, you need some help, come after school. I'll stay here and I'll help. And they would do that. But when we integrated, nobody ever asked me if I needed any help or if I wanted to do anything. But I wasn't the sharpest pencil in the box, but I wasn't all that dog either. So,
right on.
So I wasn't really worried. But You didn't see that one-on-one attention. You know,
Right.
I got mine, you
You
get
get
yours.
yours.
Yeah.
What was the tension like that first day when you were senior? You got black folks with the white folks. How was that? How was y'all received by the students and the teachers?
That was not really much because the blacks kept it in our group.
Mm,
Whites stayed with their groups. Now, athletics, we had to mix up.
right.
So you could tell the difference, uh, lunch period and stuff like that. The athletes, they would mix together and stuff. Because we had that summer to get to know each other
Right.
and stuff. But other than that, uh, we had one or two little, won't say scuffles, but you had to let people know that you wasn't going to stand for
Right.
certain things, like you be in alphabetical order in your desk. There was a guy behind me named Johnson, who just happened to be white. And he always wanted to put his foot on my chair, pushing me. So happened, the teacher was the head football coach. And I told him, Coach, would you please tell Johnson to quit pushing on my chair? And somehow or another he said it, but he didn't say Negro, it would come out nigger.
Mm, close enough.
And I'm like, and if he can't say it right, he don't need to say it all.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I don't have no problem talking now, I didn't have no problem talking
Okay,
then.
then.
So that was about the only tension that I ever had. But now there was some knockdown and drag outs. But it all depends on the way you carried yourself.
Right on.
And I was always taught that you can be whatever you want to be, carry yourself. You got to earn respect. People not just go respect you, you know, you got to
That's
earn
right.
that respect. So there was a lot of good things that would steal in me.
Okay. So I know you said you graduated in '69. Okay, let me ask you, where were you at when the assassination of Martin Luther King happened?
Going from class to class.
Oh, it was high school
I was
still.
in high school, yeah.
Senior that year?
No, I was in 10th grade.
Okay, so you were still in the all black school.
Mhm.
What was the attitude of black people when that happened?
Like a bombshell.
Mm.
Uh, teachers were crying.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of students, we knew of him, what he had done, but it wasn't as deeply rooted in us then
Right.
as it is now, as we can look back. Like I say, things that were going on in the 60s was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't really realize the change that was going on. Let me, for an example, we never played football at Daniels. And the principal asked us if we would like to have a football team. We told him, yeah. So evidently he went through the proper channels to get us pads and helmets and all that stuff. But when they brought them to us, of course, they were used,
Right.
cracked, broke. That's the only time I ever remember my principal cursing.
Mm.
And he cursed and told them what they could do with that stuff. His boys wouldn't go away.
Mm.
So I never got to play. Well, I made the varsity football team simply because I was a senior.
Right.
I was what you call the water boy, I guess, the
Right.
Gates boy, the one that sat on the end, didn't do nothing. But the bus moved and I was on.
Okay, I can believe that. From high school, I know from talking to you, you entered the military. Did you leave to the military right after high school?
No, when I grew up, the mentality was finish high school, get your job, get married, raise a family. I wanted a little more. Angelina College was just opening up in Lubbock, very small school at the time. I got married the summer of '69.
Immediately after high school?
Right after high school.
Okay.
Went to Angelina. Needed something fast because I knew I wasn't going to be in college no 4 years, so I wanted to be a welder. started welding and stuff, you know, and didn't really like that because I didn't have the training in high school, so I was behind and had to hurry up and catch up.
Mm-hmm.
And all that flux and stuff falling off in my boots and burning, and oh, this ain't gonna be it. So I went back to the regular little hardwood mill and son. Then I got this letter for me to come to be get my physical for the military. And I am the last, one of the last of the draftees. It was like this lottery that you see now, these balls jumping up and down.
Right.
Out of 365 days, my birthday came up number 10. So I had to go to Shreveport, Louisiana. Got over there and had the physical. And they sitting to me talking like we are now. They said, well, you just might well go ahead and volunteer. You can pick whatever you want to do and we'll work with you. My father told me years ago, son, when you get 18, you got to register to do that. If you get drafted, go do your time, come back home. While you're in the military, don't ever volunteer for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I took him at his word. They started talking about volunteering. I said, nah, you want me, you got to send a letter.
Right.
About 2 weeks later, I got the first letter that I ever received with Mr. Johnson on it.
Mm.
Mr. Johnnie Johnson, you have been selected.
Damn.
So there go the draft. I'm married, got a, let's see, 71. He was born in 7, got a year-old son. Then I got to leave.
A new baby boy.
New baby boy. And I got to leave and go to the military. Did I like it? No.
Let me ask you this now, because it's 71. We fresh into integration. Was it a difference in how the black soldiers and the white soldiers were treated?
Yes. Yeah. Even in basic was basically the same. You all went through the same old hard stuff, but once I left basic, you could tell the difference. And when I finally settled down, which was in Germany, at this time, any more than 3 black soldiers walking the street together at night, we were considered a danger. We was going out as a riot group or something.
So it's been like that since way back then.
Yeah. Times really haven't changed that much.
Okay.
Never have. It's always been this suppression type deal on the black man. They can't stand it when you look them in the eye.
That's right.
When you stand and you talk and you make direct contact, because the parents, you say, boy, look at me when I'm talking to you.
Yep.
So we know to look at you when you're talking to me. So from my age down, that should be instilled in us that when you're talking to somebody, look them dead in the eye.
My grandma taught us that.
But the Caucasian or the white man,
Threatened.
he can't stand for you to look him dead in the eye.
Mm.
Well, I grew up 1 foot, colored bathroom, white bathroom.
Okay.
If you ride a city bus, you had to go to the back.
These are real times you actually lived in. So
I can't make this stuff up.
I know that wasn't that long ago. You sit up and say, well, this was in 69, 71, whatever. Probably your grandkids or younger, they feel like this, we talking 1600s, not knowing this ain't been but this long ago.
I started with my kids and I told them to do with their kids, to watch certain movies. One of my favorites was Mississippi Burning. Because that stuff actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
In my little county, several unsolved murders still on the books. Nobody cared. It's just pitiful. And I've gotten to the point now to a lot of it, I don't blame the other race.
Mm-hmm.
I feel sorry for them.
Okay.
Because they don't know no better.
Okay.
And if you do something wrong for so long, you think it's right. When you're young, your parents can't do no wrong in your eyesight. So you go by what your parents instill in you. A lot of people don't understand that that same hatred and stuff is still being taught
That's right.
because it was taught to them.
That's right.
And my wife was talking probably 3 weeks ago, a month or so ago. I said, you know, we were blessed. We heard about the depression of what, 29?
Mm-hmm.
My father was born in 22. My mother was born in 25. So that means they grew up during the depression. But I didn't come along to 51. Supposedly it was over. My father had been in the military and stuff, so he had to endure some of the same stuff that I endured 20, 25 years later, you know. So
Right.
then when all of this stuff started evolving back around, I lived to see the time where everything was segregated. Then I came along when it was desegregated. And now look what's happening. They're trying to erase 60 years and go backwards.
Mm.
Well, I'm old enough now where it ain't gonna bother me.
Right.
You know, as long as you don't come down that little one way in and one way out, you good.
That's right.
But when you come down that way on me and mine, I hope you got your insurance paid up.
Right on. Got a problem.
That's just the way I think. My father told me, said, son, I won't take what my daddy took.
Mm.
You won't take
What I took.
what I took. You get some boys, they ain't gonna take what you took. And if you live long enough to have grandboys, they ain't gonna be taking nothing. I've lived
Boy,
to
that's
see
cold up.
that. I live to see that.
Yeah.
And now I got great grands coming along.
Yeah.
So I just tell them, try to explain to them how to be a man.
Right.
Stand up. Do what you believe is right. If you believe it until somebody proves you wrong, you right. So that's the way I see life.
This is why we gotta keep the elders and find them and listen to them. How was life in Germany as a black man in the 70s?
Once you got off base, it was great.
I heard German women love black men now.
It was great. A lot of people didn't understand why when I came back. You know, I don't know if y'all had, but we used to call record hops and little socials where we go out and have a DJ. Same thing they doing now, you know, on a lower level. Well, when I was in Germany, we had like the underground disco. You go actually underground. And any kind of drugs you want, if you got hooked up with the right people, you could get it.
Right.
You know, and I ain't always been in the pulpit, so I tried some all of it, you know. I enjoyed it, man, and the hardest thing for me was my body getting used to the climate change, the temperature and all that stuff. It's cold in Germany, man. You get up in the mountains and things, it's rough up in there. I was attached to an engineering battalion, and what we did was go around, build buildings, wash racks for tanks and stuff like that. So actually, my home base was in Karlsruhe, which is down south in the southern part. But then I was up around Frankfurt. Everybody's heard of Frankfurt and all that stuff. And Elvis Presley little hangout in Hannah. I was all up in that area, you know. So I got to go to a lot of different clubs, a lot of different foods and things. I enjoyed the outside, but I was when it was time for me to come home, they called me in talking about getting me, I think it was like $3,000 cash and another stripe. told me you can't give me nothing but a one-way ticket back to Texas. That's all I want from you.
You did one, what you call it? One term. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I was drafted for 2 years.
After 2, you say I want no more.
I don't want no more. I didn't want nothing.
But you got drafted.
I got drafted. So I did. I gave them what they had for 1 year, 11 months, 26 days,
One and done.
23 hours. I forgot the minutes in the circle. But when I come out of Fort Dix, New Jersey, I had it down to the T.
Yeah.
But that's been 50 years ago plus.
So when you got back, what was life like when you got back to the States? Was it the same as when you left? Worse?
No, it was hard to adjust. It was hard to adjust. I remember coming home and Shelby County was wet. You could actually buy beer. And when I left, it wasn't like that. You had to go to Louisiana. I had to drive 60 miles to get a legal beer. Now you had the bootleggers and stuff.
Right.
And I look at what people pay for beer now. That's more we used to pay for a 6-pack now. More what we used to pay for a case. You can get a 6-pack in the 60s and 70s for $3. You had one of them, you know what a number 3 tub is?
It was wash clothes in?
Yeah.
Yep.
Take that number 3 tub, I had a 63 Ford Galaxy 500. Just spare tire in the trunk. Take that spare tire, put that number 3 tub in there, get you a couple of cases of beer, put that rock salt and ice on it. Party going down the highway.
In the back truck. We
Party going down the highway. Yeah. Yeah. But it was hard to adjust driving. It was hard to adjust because I had gotten used to the Autobahn. And on the weekend, wasn't no speed limit on the Autobahn.
So you mean when you was in Germany, you was acting on the Autobahn where they was just driving as fast as they want to?
During the week, I was in an old army truck. I drove a truck. That was my MOS. But on the weekend, I had my own personal vehicle. I just saved up my little money, and I had my little old Mustang.
Really?
And I get out there, and we go from time to time. Me and a couple of my buddies from up in North Carolina. We go from time to time. They had some connections. I even had a first cousin that was in the military. Between me writing my mother and him writing my mother, we found out that we was about 50 miles apart. I'd go see him and stuff. It was just like Monday through Friday, you had your military stuff from like 7 in the morning to 4:30, 5 o'clock in the evening. You'd be out work. Just like going on a job. But on the weekend, Friday night, you good to Monday morning, as long as you can make formation on Monday morning. So it was hard for me to get back and get that foot off that accelerator. Now, you get out there on that Autobahn, there wasn't no speed limit on the weekend. Wide open.
Do you think being in Germany, like, open your eyes up just to how big the world? Because come on, you said you coming from Center in Shelby County, man. That's as country as it gets. Like, I'm from the country like that too. Did it open your eyes up just to be able to see the world?
Yeah, and I got to meet a lot of guys from other nations who had to be in there because they had a choice: go to the military or go to the pen. So most of them were choosing the military. Now, how they became a part of the U.S. Army, I have no idea because I wasn't getting into that. But I noticed they would look like me, hair like me, but they didn't sound like me. So I'd be nosy. I'd go talk to them and stuff, find out where they were from and stuff.
So these are Africans or whatnot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ain't no telling what the military had going on in these other countries and nations.
Never know.
Man,
Never know.
never thought about that.
But you meet a lot of different people from different places. Even just say on your base, people from all other states and things,
Right.
you wouldn't have met. That's one thing I like about it. I went places, done things, seen things that had not been for the Army. I never would have done it. But that's the only thing that I liked about it. Other than that, it wasn't for me.
Now, you said you was over there up on underground disco, partying, you know what I'm saying? You came back to the States. You said you wasn't always saved, sanctified. and blessed with the Holy Spirit, what was it that you were doing? What kind of lifestyle was you living? And I really want to try to get into like what made you realize you had a calling for the ministry.
There was something inside of me that had been in there for years, and I had been dodging it.
Mm.
And after maybe 3 years, I remarried, and I would talk to my wife about it, and she didn't want to be married to a preacher.
Mm.
So that was right out my alley somewhat, because I'm running. I really don't want to accept this calling that I do on my life, and she don't want to be married to no preacher. So I got this excuse, right?
Okay.
And but that feeling it was just something there, and I've always loved nature. Like my time comes up this weekend when it's hunting season.
Okay.
I love being out with nature. And it was strange how I could be out in nature and I could hear something talking to me, someone talking to me. Didn't pay it no mind. In 1974, I got a cut on my arm. I could show you. I had to go to the hospital. I'm laying there watching this doctor cut nerves and things, cut my skin, throwing it in the trash can. They trying to save it. And he told the nurse, if he be alive in the morning, we'll try this and we're going to try that. If he be alive. I got up that next morning and walked out of that hospital under my own power. But there was a black nurse. Every time I'd wake up that night, she was sitting by my bed. This gonna be good, boy. I want you to follow me. I got up that next morning and walked out. That was in 1974. 1984, wrong place, wrong time, full. One of the spirit, full. I end up back in a hospital on this time. I go to Shreveport to the VA hospital. Wild, crazy. What you call a woman you staying with, you ain't married to? Concubine?
Yeah. Right now they call it your side woman these days.
Well, when I had the side woman carried me to the VA hospital. Old jaw all swole up, couldn't eat, eyes closed. Guess who was over there? The nurse.
That was by your side.
That was by my side 10 years ago.
This ain't the same hospital, is it? Oh, man.
We left from Center, Texas to Shreveport, Louisiana. I don't know to the day who she was over there with. But when I came in, she talked. I couldn't hardly talk. She got up, went to that desk. I'm in the emergency room. And when she come from that desk, it wasn't 5 minutes until they had me on the inside sitting being a doctor. Had a broken jaw. This is about this time of the year, maybe a little earlier. Because I had to go through Thanksgiving and Christmas with my jaw wired together.
Wasn't no dressing and none of that.
And the side chick's children were making fun of me, because I got a tooth missing that I had to put that straw through. Everything had to be blended up. That lady said, I told you, I am your guardian angel. Still ain't done on. That's 10 years apart.
74? It was your arm. 84 was your jaw.
My head, yeah. So we started getting close to 94, the latter part of 93. I said, and all the same time, you asked me how did I get on this journey that I was on. I had this classmate that's now a bishop. He was my counselor. And I went to talk to him one morning. I don't know what had happened, but he wasn't the same friend, And I busted in there and said, I ain't got time to fool with you today. If the Lord wants you, he go get you or he go kill you. That's up to you. I said, all right. I left. I got to thinking about that thing. So now, 74, got hurt. 84, I got hurt. I said, this may be like a baseball game. 3 strikes. I might be out of here. So I started easing back toward church, where I always been. It was one of them things like, you hear them say your parents was a drug addict because they drugged you to church.
Yep.
I got drugged to church Sunday morning, back Sunday evenings for PTU and all of this stuff. And it was always in me, but I had strayed away. I'm talking about way off out yonder in the left field, man. I went so far out there that one day I looked at myself, I like Michael Jackson, the man in the mirror. I didn't like what I seen. And this is in the early 90s. And I knew it was time for me to make a change. And the only way I was going to be able to make that change was go back to the Lord's house. So I started going back. And I had a pastor. Come to find out, me and him could talk. Just like me and you talking. Because before that time, I looked at a pastor like being somebody totally different from anybody else. But now I know they're human too. They have the same problems, same different temptations and all that they got to deal with. And that's the kind of relationship me and him had. And he mentioned some of his friends. And when he mentioned some of his friends, I said, yeah, if he can change you, he can change me too. And that was the start of the journey. And I got to where I love me some church. Got to where I went back to my wife. My kids wasn't so happy because I did them like my mother did me. I put them on that bonus bench. I make them come right out in front.
You drugged them to church.
Drug them to church. This was after I got in the choir, singing in the choir, so I'm sitting there, I can watch them.
Yeah.
Wasn't gonna be none of that note writing and all that stuff going on like I know kids do in the back, nice cell phone and stuff, texting.
They like Daddy done came back and we in church
every Sunday. Every Sunday. Now they still lie.
Yeah.
The girl more so than the boy, but he goes.
Yeah.
And I'm glad of that. I look at you grown now. You got to make up your own mind. Yeah, Daddy messed up. I done told you why I messed up. I'm trying to show you how I messed up because I don't want you to have to go through what I had to go through before I came to myself.
Right.
And that's the way I am with people that I meet. I soon be 75 years old. I have lived my life. I got all that he promised and then some. I'm working on some more. So I don't want young men, especially, to go through what I had to go through with. I don't know if that would have been strike 3, but I'm glad I woke up and didn't find out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I might not have had the opportunity to meet you, to meet John.
Right.
To talk with y'all and learn this stuff that I'm learning from y'all. Like it's such a generational gap. And like you say, the younger men, they don't want to listen to nothing we got to say.
Right.
I was the same way. Old school. But things hadn't really changed that much. The same thing going on now. It's been going on in the world ever since Adam and Eve. And that's being disobedient to God.
That's right.
And the only way away from it is to go back to God.
That's right.
And I teach getting to heaven is going to be an individual thing. Because the Bible that I read says that every knee must bow and every tongue shall confess. That means I got to know Jesus for myself. My mother used to say, boy, every tub got to sit on its own bottom. That's when I'd be out with some of them little guys that she thought I didn't need to be out with. See, the things I would tell you that my father put in me, all that was before I was 16 years old. My dad died when I was 16.
Okay.
So I saw I had to grow up fast. But things that he put in me from, I guess, the time I started following him around and trying to learn how to drive the old car and stuff, it stuck with me.
That's right.
And now it comes out and I know what he meant.
That's right.
So that's what I try to do, is instill that in any young man. If you ask me a question, I'm going to answer it. From my perspective, we all got a right to our opinion, but people got to realize that's all it is your opinion. Everybody got an opinion. I'm sure you heard that expression, what they said to go along with that. We all got one, but we got to learn how to respect each other's opinion. If you prove me wrong, then I'm man enough to say, man, look, I'm sorry, you right. You know, and move on about my business. I ain't gonna fall out with you.
Right.
Yeah.
I can relate to that part about, man, it's like, because how I got to this couch right now and got back to my place with God is I got tired of that man in the mirror. I got sick of it, man, because that a path I had gone down, it wasn't nothing but destruction,
Right.
and loss.
Right.
And I just got tired of it, man. I'll tell folks I had to hit rock bottom to realize I done lost my way. And I'm blessed, fortunate that my mother drugged me to church because it gave me that foundation to be like, well, damn, I know where I can go. I know where, if I don't know nothing else, I know where God is. I know where the Spirit is. I know where the word is spoken at. I know where I can go hear the gospel, the singing. I know where I can go and my spirit can be put at ease. So again, like I said, I done went through all kind of learning, religion, mad at the church, but I came right back to that same place that showed me comfort as a little boy. It showed me my mother, my grandmother, the going through different pastors, cutting Lorene in there, cussing the pastors, like cussing them. So I'm learning that church is not it's a group thing because we worship together. But like you said, my mama prayed for me, my grandma prayed, but I can't get there off their prayers. I got to at some point walk on my own. So
a lot of people have a wrong perspective of the church. Church ain't nothing but a hospital for sick folks. We all got problems. Ain't none of us in there perfect. Ain't never been but one perfect man. That's all it's gonna ever be. So if you looking for the perfect church, you ain't gonna find it.
never find.
You find you somewhere where you're being fed, to where it's gonna help you, and then you grow from that. Some of the worst people around be in church every Sunday.
Talk about it.
But I tried to tell people at our little small church, I said, people know those cars out there. You know, your car going down the road. They know a car out there.
Right.
And they know that car when they see it somewhere other than the church.
That's right.
This younger generation will tell you, whatever that is you got, I don't want it. You can preach a better sermon with your lifestyle than you can with any words. This younger generation are watching more of what we do than what we say.
That's right.
Because you can say anything, but what do you do? This thing is 24/7. You got to live. You got
That's right.
You got to be consumed by it. And I tell people, the more you get to know about Jesus, the more you want to know about Jesus. Can you? No. But try. Wrap your mind around the Father who cares so much for you that before your mother and father even laid down together, had died for your sin, knew that you were going to be here, knew you were going to be a son. But yet he cared enough about you that he sent his son to make a way for you. You can't wrap your head around that.
I've tried.
What look did you have?
Oh, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
that didn't resonate in my spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I totally understand the story of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit,
Mm-hmm.
the mission that Jesus had, and the work that he does,
Mm-hmm.
and that we are to emulate that. We are to be as Christ-like as possible,
Mm-hmm.
carry our own cross so that we can sit before the Father. And what I've come to learn is we have to be willing to sacrifice everything, even if it's including my life. And that's where I'm at with it now, that where I had been before, because I was running too. I got something in me too. My grandma said, "Well, you gonna preach one day." So I've been having this desire and a special, I feel like, connection with God.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I just been running from it, but I got to the point to where I wasn't ashamed of it, because when I'm still out living this devilish lifestyle, again, I can say whatever, but you see me over there buying that dope.
Mm-hmm.
You see me with all these. You see me doing everything other than what I say.
What
My
you say.
spirit
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't allow me to speak with the conviction that I have now, because I know I ain't living right.
Well, we call that getting a whooping, no. Your conscience be whooping. You
Beating you down.
you know it before it even happened. You can start in the wrong. Where you going?
I already know it.
Yeah.
So now, when I said I'm tired of that man in the mirror, I'm tired of running. I want to walk in my purpose that God has for me. In order for me to do that, I got to go get on my knees. I got to open my Bible up. I got to seek wise counsel.
See, you said you're a whole lot, you further ahead than a lot of young men in your generation are. They don't know nothing about humbling themselves. Don't know nothing about pouring your all out to him. They don't know the story of the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. Right there, we can start right there. Do you know how many men out there that don't know that? And women.
It's a lot.
That grew up thinking that you just go to bed, go to sleep, and get up in the morning. Yeah. It's a lot of people that don't have that basic background. And well, I knew it was March of 28, 98. I was laying there asleep. Boy, I woke up. My living room was just lit up. I hit the floor. Still running. Run out of my house, and when this large oak tree in front of my house used to be. I jumped off the porch in front of that oak tree. Fell on my knees. That light that was in my bedroom, that light was still on me. So I said, Lord, what do you have me to do? He said, tell the good news. That light left. It was just like I'd been arrested. I was just weak, tired. I went back in the house. Woke my wife up. Now, this is the same woman that didn't want to be married to a preacher, right? But now she had been searching. She was hungrier than I was. She was going different places, looking for something to feed her, while I'm still hanging out with the guy over the corner stuff. So she's getting fed. Now here I am out here stuck. So I go in, I wake up. I said, you didn't see that light?
God, come on, man.
She said, what light? I said, as bright as it was in here, you didn't see that light?
Golly.
she said that light wasn't for me.
Mm.
She turned over, went back to sleep.
Mm.
That was like on Thursday, I think it was. At that time, I was a law hauler.
I don't want to cut you, but the light similar to what Saul seen you turn him into power in Acts 9
When he got knocked off
on the road to Damascus.
Yeah.
Boy, I got the chills, Pastor.
That's right.
I saw it too. I'll tell you, we'll get off camera because it's a long story, but I know what you're saying.
That light. That next day I was leaving out of Lufkin. I was running 103 somewhere. That was Satan game. The Holy Ghost was in the truck with me. You know when you start crying, that's a cleansing process.
Come on now.
That's some of that junk in you.
Yes, sir.
coming out.
Yes, sir.
Satan was telling me what I couldn't do. The Holy Ghost was telling me what I'm going to do.
Mm.
I had to stop the truck. I got out. I walked around that truck. I don't know, just boom. Got back in the truck, went on, made the day. Saturday rolled around, nothing good. Sundays, I've been picking my mother up now for about 3.5 years on my way to church, picking her up, taking her to Sunday school. She opened the door, she said, "Boy, what's wrong with you?" I said, "Nothing." "Don't lie to me, what's wrong with you?" "Mother, ain't nothing wrong with me, get on in, we're gonna be late for Sunday school, sitting there talking." Something about you is different.
Mm.
I'm your mother. I know you. You got a different glow about you. Well, I done made up my mind. Doing Sunday school for that after crowd coming, some people ain't gonna come to Sunday school, they show up for church. I'm gonna rededicate my life doing Sunday school. So when they opened the door to the church for Sunday school, I got up. Boy, I don't know where I went.
Mm.
I do know that when the Spirit turned me loose, I was back down. I looked, and them old ladies in the church, all of them was crying.
Shouting and crying.
And the pastor handed me, extended his hand, Bruce Baldwin from over the Carthage. He shook my hand, he said, "Congratulations." I said, "For what?"
Mm.
He said, "You just did your first sermon."
Mm.
I said, "Nah, not me. I ain't done no sermon." I said, "I might have rededicated my life, but I ain't done no sermon." He said, "Say what you will.
We know what we just saying.
You done your first sermon." And I ain't looked back since.
Wow.
And I went in, and like I was telling you about, people don't understand and don't know. I've always went in with the thought of taking the scripture, whatever the Lord gives me, and I've been guilty of go do what I want to do, go make a sermon on what I want to say. And you get to church and that don't come out.
Mm.
But I've always known that He wanted me to use a language to where the oldest to the youngest can understand the message. So that's my goal.
Man, I think you're doing a wonderful job at that.
Well, pray for me.
I will continue to pray for you.
Boy, it took me out though, she said. That light was for me to see. Turn over, went back to sleep.
Like ain't nothing like shit. That's your business.
Yeah, you handle it.
I must say, you've been handling it ever since. Did you run from that at any, or did you realize, oh no, it's it from here on out?
That was the time that I accepted the calling, but there was some time that I stumbled and failed.
Yes, sir.
After I had accepted the call. But I guess I got a lot of David in me.
Mm-hmm.
I always knew where to go back to get that relationship back again. So they say, he kept giving me chance after chance after chance. That's the category that I fell in for some years. And then finally one day I said, well, I don't need that. This is it. Here I am. I'm your vessel. Take me. I'm empty. Fill me. You know, I always, even when I pray on Sunday mornings, I tell them I'm coming before you as an empty vessel. Fill me. Fill me so much so that I can feed the people with the access of the overflow. In other words, fill me first. Then I'm going to share what you share with me, with the access that you give me. So that's the way I look at it.
That sounds kind of like what I call this show the spiritual bank account. And I say, this is where I come in to make deposits into this bank account so that some of our listeners may be able to make a withdrawal from it.
Well, that shows how much we think alike. I say that coming to church is just like going to the bank. You can't go in the bank and withdraw no money if you ain't got none in there. So when you come to church, if you don't put something into the services, you're not going to take nothing out of the services.
That's right.
So you got to deposit something in order to take something out. So you need to come thirsty and hungry looking for something. So it helps to put in, because there go come a time, maybe a physical ailment or something where you really can't put in, but you have deposited. So once you deposit, you can get it out.
That's right.
It's yours.
That's
it's yours. Can't nobody else take it from you.
When we start talking about the deposits in the church, now I'm gonna switch a little bit. A lot of us, first, only thing we see is tithes. We don't understand that your prayers, your getting up, getting ready, your intercessory prayers for other people, your charity work, these are forms of deposits too. But a lot of people have a problem with the pastor getting paid. They think that if you are called by God, then you should do it for free. I personally disagree with that, because I say, what man of God with a family dedicated his life, served to be a servant of God, how can he take care of his family if he does it for free? If that's what he does, why doesn't he deserve to get paid? Why do you think people feel like it's so bad that the pastor get paid? Do you think, I'm gonna say, is it because of we've seen so many preachers that just only preach prosperity and take the money and do what they want to do with it, or people just don't like to see, or they don't want to tithe themselves?
It's a combination of everything. And again, let's go back to an individual belief. I grew up, and I used to hear the old people talk about, the preacher needs to work too. He a man, he got to work. So most preachers, when I was growing up, if they didn't work, they preached full time.
That's true.
And a lot of people didn't have cash or stuff to pay in the church. So they paid the preacher with food, stuff, that crops and things like this that they had. So they were giving, but not monetarily.
Okay.
But now when it get to monetary, you got some crooked preachers.
Yes, sir.
That you said prosperity. They preach, you sow this and you go reap this, and if your mind is weak enough that you go fall for that, that's you and your little red wagon. You got to know Jesus for yourselves. Now, I can't tell people, a lot of people don't understand that your time, your efforts, maybe you don't have a financial gift that you can give on a timely basis, but you give other things to the church, you give other things to the ministry. That's a way of tithing, just because you say you go sacrifice, which means you go sacrifice your all. That's your time, your mind. Maybe you can type. Pastors always need somebody to type out announcements and things. Right. It's always something around the church that you can do. People don't understand. If they read, they'll find out that the temple was one of the best places it was as far as furnishings and stuff. What's wrong with cleaning the church?
That's right.
What's wrong with buying something for the church?
That's right.
There are different ways to do it. So I wouldn't get it. It's not enough for me to even get into a debate with somebody over. I wouldn't even waste my time on if they should or shouldn't die.
Yeah, I feel if you feel like you shouldn't, then maybe you're not even supposed to be here in my face. No way. Maybe I don't even need you here because you're not coming with a humble spirit. And what I've learned through my walks is we're supposed to be servants.
That's what you are.
We are supposed to bow down to our Creator and His will. Let His will be done. It wasn't until I embodied that and understood that I could fully walk in my purpose. That, like you say, I'm just a vessel. I'm just an instrument. And if God sees it fit, I can be a conduit to get you where you are. You making use me to get to where you're trying to get to.
Right.
So.
Right.
I think we just need to really understand, man, how to be servants and how to sacrifice.
A lot of people don't understand the word servant. They don't understand the word humble.
Mm.
They don't understand sacrifice. They look at that all as being weak.
Mm. That's right.
You got to be a strong man to say I'm a servant of the Most High.
Yes, sir.
And live that.
Yes, sir.
You got to be a strong man to humble yourself, to know that you are working to a higher call, that I've got to humble myself. People think that if you humble yourself, you're supposed to be just like a flow mat. That's no, that don't mean that.
Right.
There are a lot of things that we've heard and we don't know. Paul tells us that this journey should be started by the renewing of your mind.
Come on now.
A lot of things we hear, we take it for what we've heard all our lives. It's also to tell us what study to show ourselves approved, right, so that we can rightly divide the word of truth. A lot of us just take a word and go with it. We don't try to get to the grassroots of it and see what it means and apply it to our lives. Everybody has something that they can do to advance the kingdom on this side.
Mm.
Everybody. Well, none of us born bad. All of us are vessels. All of us got some good in us. God ain't never made that bad.
Come on.
So it's our job to find out what's good in us where we can upbuild the kingdom on this side.
That's a word right there. That's a sermon right there in itself. We took a little break a minute ago, y'all, and we really just had a whole powwow behind the cameras. We may have to come back one day and do that on camera, speak about what we talked about. But if you just had any closing words, just to give, man, people about who you are or what you desire for your ministry to be, or just anything, how would you leave us in closing? Because again, I want to say this: I've enjoyed your company. I've enjoyed your presence. I can appreciate your journey. I can appreciate hearing the wisdom that comes from your life, your experience. And I heard a saying, and it makes so much sense. It said, "I will learn so much, or I'll listen to a 80-year-old janitor is smarter than a 20-year-old Harvard student." What I mean by that is, the 80 years of experience outweigh a 20-year-old at the Ivy League school. So I can just sit up and really just listen and take it in, because I know you coming from being a man of honesty and integrity, and you're gonna talk exactly the way you walk. So I just want to say that before you leave us with some closing words.
Well, I thank you for that, and I appreciate that. And if I had one thing to say to someone, if there anybody that's you're at the crossroads, you got to make a decision. There comes a time in everyone's life when we have to make a decision, right or wrong. Life is full of consequences. Whatever you do, whether it's spiritually or whether it's worldly, you're going to have some consequences. Now, you can't keep doing things the worldly way and expect spiritual results. That's just like mixing oil and water. It's not going to mix. So if you're standing at the crossroads, if you need somebody to talk to, call me. Get in touch with Bar. Have Bar to call me or whatever. I have been through so many changes till I don't mind sharing my testimony. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I'm another Paul. I have been the chief son. When I go to church, I tell people, it probably ain't nobody in here that has been as bad as I have. But if the Lord can change me, come on, he can certainly change you. And if I can help you on your journey, let me know, and by the will and the help of the good Lord, I'm willing to do it.
That's it right there, family. East Holly Springs Baptist Church. Where is that church located?
We are in the Concord community, right off of FM 95, 3122 County Road.
Concord, Texas. Again, this is the spiritual bank account. Thank y'all for tuning in. This has been one of my favorites thus far. Always a pleasure, like I say, sitting with wise counsel. If I can leave you with anything, I would encourage you to find you some wise counsel and understand that you have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Listen to what they have to say. I am your host, Billionaire Bar. This was my guest, Pastor Johnnie Johnson. We out of here. All right, Pastor.